There's a new push on in Ontario to protect kids who suffer concussions at school. It's going to involve changes both outside and inside the classroom. Jackie Crandles has more.
This is why
4 months after a nasty hit during a high school football game, Josh Elliott is still suffering the consequences.
Headaches constantly, and then I haven't stopped having headaches since then.
Headaches, nausea, dizziness, all of the side effects of a concussion have sidelined the grade 10 student from the field and the classroom.
I can't do full days. I just get in too much pain.
The signs and symptoms of his injury are clear now, but they weren't when it happened.
I thought you had to get knocked out really to have one. Really, I only knew them from like Sidney Crosby.
It's one of many common misconceptions associated with a concussion, and something a new anti-concussion strategy is aimed at correcting.
Would help increase awareness at school.
The Liberals have introduced new legislation, the first of its kind in Canada, to help protect student athletes.
The legislation would be an amendment to the Education Act, requiring school boards and schools to develop policies and guidelines about concussions. It would also require them to distribute educational materials to both staff and students.
Drew Laskowski says the legislation is long overdue. He's a certified athletic therapist who sees at least one concussed patient a week. He says based on research done by the Ontario Neurotrauma Foundation, less than 20% of Ontario schools have a concussion policy in place.
less than 20%, and that's really scary, when you consider the number of kids that are playing high school sport.
The policy would help to not only identify when a concussion is suspected, but also establish when a student should return to the field and classroom.
The brain needs to heal, and that's what I think we need to recognize. The brain has been injured.
Josh Elliott is receiving personal and detailed attention at his school as his brain slowly heals. His mom, who is also a teacher, says she's encouraged that care may soon become the standard at all Ontario schools.
To make sure that those follow-ups are being made and we're not just expecting the students to come in and be themselves and take on all the full work is probably a good idea.
Jackie Crandles, CTV News, Barrie.